Hello and welcome to another video. So I've got a big backlog of cameras that I'm planning on making videos for, but for today's video I'm actually going to interrupt that list, and instead I'm going to be talking about the newest addition to my camera collection, which is this what I think is probably about a 1951 Gelto D III. So what's the background on this camera? Well, my birthday was just a few weeks ago, and I was given this camera as a birthday gift from my parents after my dad and I went to a local vintage camera show just a few days before my birthday. Just goes to show you, you're never too old to get birthday gifts from your folks. Anyway, this little beauty has been a real pleasure to put to use, so let's take it out on location and find out what it's like to shoot with. Well, I'm down here at Seattle's Shilshole Bay Marina on what, as you can tell, is a very lovely evening to be out taking pictures. And today I brought with me my 1951 Gelto D III. The Gelto is a 127 camera made in Japan from starting I think 1936, and they made it up through World War II, then paused for a couple of years, started again following World War II, and then I believe ceased production in 1952. The Gelto is a really well-made all-metal camera. This particular model is one of the very last made. The only thing it lacks is the flash synchronization of the very last model, so I believe it's from 1951. The Gelto is essentially a copy of the pre-war Geräte from Germany and looks very similar. It's laid out in the same way. It's got the same extendable lens. The Gelto has this interesting kind of pebbled metal finish that's very tactile. As you can see, it's a 3x4 camera, so it has two red windows in the back. So you move the film along first from one window and then to the next. Obviously, I've got film in the camera right now. The bottom has a typical tripod socket, and then the top has the big lever is the lock for the rear cover. And it's got a simple viewfinder, a cold shoe for accessories, and then all the controls are laid out on the lens and lens barrel. So for instance, the shutter cocking lever is right here. The shutter release lever is here. It uses scale focusing, so the scale focusing is adjusted with this lever in the helicoid. All in all, a really nice looking and well handling camera. So I'm going to be shooting this Efke R100 film in 127 size. I've got a number of rolls of this film, all expired in 2013, and I've had really good success with it. Got a couple rolls left and looking forward to seeing what it can do with this camera. Okay, let's talk a little bit about results. Generally, I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. For the first roll, it's not too bad. I'm definitely having some focus issues. That's probably user error, because in images where I've focused at infinity, the images are sharp, but some of the others are not so sharp. So that leads me to believe that my guesstimates of distance were a little bit off. And keeping in mind the camera does measure in meters, which I'm not super familiar with, so I need to do a little practice there. But overall, this is a fun little camera. It's really small. I don't know if that picks up in the video, but it's quite a bit smaller than a typical 35 millimeter SLR. So very pocketable, and you end up with a nice 3x4 image. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to bringing you more in coming months.